Just type on my channel, you can look at it.
Discord? Or,
Yeah, anyway. Alright, we are live.
okay.
Welcome to the Fireball Podcast. I'm Fireball.
I'm Glamour Keyman.
Today, we are doing a special episode of the podcast, Halloween edition, but we're going to be talking about some interesting, creepy stories that me and him pretty much must have encountered over the years. It's going to be pretty interesting, but I want you guys to get to know him first because he is technically a new person to these type of things into the YouTube world. So, why don't you tell yourself?
Well, I'm Glamour Keyman. I'm on TikTok at Glamour Keyman. And I have experienced some weird things in the past. Weird things that I'm not sure I was able to talk about that much. Because honestly, they felt kind of unreal to me. But then again, that's how it is with almost all people at this point. So, yeah.
Okay. Just give me a second, chat. So, why don't you start with your story?
1 second. I'll get started with at least one of them. Okay. So there was Sure. Well.
I'm listening.
Okay. At one point in time, I have actually I didn't exactly experience this myself, but I've been hearing around my family that there was a time a long time ago we was in our apartment that my eldest sister was walking toward the kitchen and a little girl figure behind the curtain in the living room window. Apparently my other sister had saw this as well. Both ran back to the bedroom as soon as they could.
Like,
you got chills from that?
kinda. Because I saw the same thing I saw a couple weeks ago, but different.
Oh wow.
But, anyways, like, how did you saw this thing?
Well, from what they told me, they said that they saw it from the window behind the curtain. And the curtain was kind of see-through, but it was like a little girl figure, and they heard like laughter coming from her. So that's pretty much all I gathered from that.
Jesus. Just hearing a girl in the middle of the night just laughing while you're trying to watch TV, or you're just about to go to bed or something, you just hear that in the darkness. No way.
Like I'm scared. I'm scared. I need to run back to my bedroom as soon as I can.
I would just Rambo it. I would just freaking knock the thing down.
Of course.
What are you doing in my house? Bang! Excuse me for a second.
Go ahead
I'm
and
just
say
trying
one
to
of
get,
yours. No.
I'm just trying to get the chat on. I can now see the chat. Good. Because it's a bit slow when I'm recording sometimes. Anyways. This happened a couple days. I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I remember one time, I was out in the kitchen feeding my dog, and cause outside I have a laundry outside, and in the between the door, like, cause the door wasn't like fully shut, but it was a bit shut, like a bit open where you can actually see through it, and through the kitchen window, because it looked like a shadow figure outside the laundry room. It looked like an outline of a person, but it was like black outline of a person, and it disappeared about 5 seconds later. And the
I can
creepiest
never
thing
do.
about
I'm getting chills just.
and the creepiest thing about that is, like, I never experienced that before. I've never ever seen shadow figures before. I've seen them on videos like Nuke's Top 5 and Casper Site, because I usually watch Casper Site and Nuke's Top 5 sometimes, and I sometimes stream it sometimes. And like, because this was at night time, like, you couldn't see anything, but I had a street light on, which reflected through the window, and like, it was on an outline on the wall, and it was dark as well, and it freaked me out, because I walked down, because I just made sure there was no one in the laundry, if that was actually a person in there. So I walked in there, I made sure there was no one in there. I looked around, there was literally no one in there.
Wow.
And after I saw, I just walked back into the house.
I could never. I'm getting chills just hearing about that.
Definitely. Well, it's a good topic for Halloween themes. And yes, we got a pumpkin outside of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a story?
Well,
Another story?
I do. I was actually I was going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and randomly, as I'm coming back to my bedroom, I hear my dog howling. And I own a Siberian Husky, but he doesn't usually howl much. He mostly howls when, when he's a siren, or when he sees things that we can't see. You know how they have that saying where dogs can see more than we can?
Oh yeah, but it's probably sometimes too, like, you could be like playful or something, or wants to go or something.
That too.
Yeah, go on.
But have you ever heard the saying that dogs can see what humans can't?
Yeah. I heard
yeah,
that.
In that case, I figured that was true. Because my dog was howling in the middle of the night, and there was no sirens, he was not playing. He was howling. Sitting there, howling. By himself. Sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit because I'm it freaked me out. I was like, why are you howling? What's going on? Then I got a cold flash.
Or just a cold
And I was like,
breeze.
oh. Mm-hmm.
I had that a couple times.
I said, oh. Oh, that's why. And I didn't even run, but I speed walked back to my room, because my room is literally right next to the living room, and I kept hearing him howling. So I hid underneath my blankets and pillows, and I was like, nope, 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 nope. Shoot, I'm still tearing up. This is a lot.
Well, the creepiest. Well, I also believe. Because I believe in ghosts sometimes a lot, and I sometimes believe in UFOs as well. I remember one time, it was night time because I was with my dad, because he was in his he was outside with him, and I was standing outside with him, and we were just looking around and looking at the stars and stuff like that, and we saw like this very very tiny star moving awkwardly to the north, and it was doing weird directions, and then suddenly it just disappeared. For
So you're
about
saying that you saw like a ghostly orb
like a
or something?
like a UFO orb,
Mm.
and it just disappeared like about 10 seconds. Because it got brighter, and it was brighter, and then went down. It was dimming itself down and down and down, and just disappeared.
Come to think of it, you bringing that up actually reminded me that we may have saw the same thing outside of my sister's window. Because my sister asked me for my phone, since I have a newer phone than she does, and my phone has a better camera. She asked for my phone, and she put on the night mode. So that way she was able to see what was going on. But we saw like we didn't know what it was. It just kept getting brighter, then it kept getting darker, and then darker, then darker, then darker, until it completely vanished.
Yeah, that's what I saw. That's what me and my dad saw. And my brother saw the same thing as well when it was cloudy. Because when it's cloudy, you can't see no stars. When it's super cloudy, right?
Yeah.
And there was only one star in the grey, in the grey clouds, which was, I found it a bit odd, and it just disappeared out of sight. Because normally, if it was a what's this? If it was a satellite, you'll be moving around. But if it's not moving, like in the sky, it's not moving, and it's decided to disappear like that quick, that's how you know it could be a UFO or it could be something else. Different entirely.
Mm.
And I remember I seen something zip by too. Like really fast pace. Yes.
Mm.
That's my story. Do you have another story?
A while back, me and my sister used to share this room. Used to share the room I'm in right now, but our bed used to be on the floor. And bear in mind, I was still I was still a kid. I was still one of those kids that has those types of, those toys that that move around a bit, or that make lights and sounds.
Hmm.
So I had a Buzz Lightyear sitting right next to my bed. And apparently, the wings open on their own. Well, the helmet came up on its own. My sister was on the edge of the bed. I was on the wall.
What the?
So my sister told me, "How do you turn?" My sister asked me, "How do you turn this off?" I'm like, "What do you mean? It doesn't turn off." Because she was like, "Because I just saw this thing. The wings opened and the helmet went up." I was like, "What?" But they're manual. The wings don't come out unless I push the button, and the helmet doesn't come up unless I push a button.
The only thing you would trigger that if there's a what do you call it? A energy nearby.
Which is what we kind of expected or something. But after my sister told me that, I got a little bit freaked out, so I panicked and I chucked him in the closet. I chucked him in the closet.
Yes, I have one weird story happen.
That's what you call Toy Story of terror.
You never know what they put in their toys.
This could be like another Poppy Playtime all over again. Go. I'm liking this. Let's hear some more.
Anyways, by that story, now I can't stop thinking about it. Anyways, one time, cause I was alone in my room, I was playing my guitar on my edge of my bed, and I was playing it, and then my brother's guitar case suddenly just fell off a chair. Like if something like pushed it off the chair.
And the chair wasn't slanted or nothing?
No. Like, cause I was about 6 meters away from it. Or 6 feet from it. And I was on the corner of my bed. And I was playing it. Because I was playing my one. And it just, suddenly, fell, full force, just fell off. Normally, if something fall off, there would be probably, a bit of vibration on the floor. And that would probably move the object to make it fall. But it was just weird, creepy. And there was another time where I was in the lounge with my mum, and we were watching TV or something, and one of the charger cords that was underneath my TV cabinet suddenly moved. And me and my mum looked at it and it was still moving, like it was swaying back and forth. And suddenly...
Like if it was a snake.
Yeah, like it was a snake, and it stopped.
Okay, you have better stories than I do, because I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills just by hearing this.
It kind of reminds me of that one YouTuber, the one YouTuber... Number 15.
Oh, chill.
Yeah.
No. It goes like this. Number 15. Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you want in your Burger King burger is someone else's foot fungus.
Anyways,
can't wait to see the replay of this later. stories.
Okay, as far as I know, it's transferred over.
Anyways, let's go through.
My guns are transferred.
Anyways.
My gun license is transferred over here.
Excuse that. Anyways, yeah, it was a creepy occurrence because I wasn't expecting it, and yeah, it was weird.
Well, I had my grandfather from my dad's side. He passed away a couple of years ago, like a year or two ago. Still kind of messed up about it, but I moved on.
Mm-hmm.
But there is just this one voice in the back of my head that's in his voice. It's saying to me in my ear. I hear it from time to time, and it says "I love you" in Spanish. And don't get me wrong, it touches my heart. It really does. But the fact that's coming from a voice that was recently departed, and that was also someone who I was really close to, someone who I loved as well, like with all my heart, because that's family.
Mm-hmm.
But it also freaked me out because I'm like with all my heart, someone who I was really close to, and seen or heard anything about him. Because after the funeral, I can never get the vision out of my head of him in the casket because it was an open casket. But when they say your family is never far, I take that to truth because in all the reality, they're not far. They're always hanging around. They're always watching you. Even when they're not physically around.
I had that occurrence. I only had that once. Anyways, there was, I don't think I have any more stories.
I have a couple. Some of them are not only about me, but
Actually,
my aunt. I was staying.
A couple of times, sometimes around here. Sometimes we hear. Sometimes we get knocks here and there, like on the fridge, and sometimes we get it on the door. Or sometimes we get it, like just we hear random sounds through the time. And I remember one time because it was nighttime at one time, and everyone was asleep, and I was, because I'm a night owl sometimes. I remember I walked into the kitchen because I was gonna grab something out of the fridge, and I heard something up above me, like running up and down. Like it sounded like claw marks, like running, like
if it was a raccoon or something, or a squirrel.
a squirrel, or well, we don't have squirrels here in Australia, but but the only thing I can think of, we could have birds in there, or it could be rats, or mice, or possums, which would be rare. If we have them in our roof. But it was like it sounded like very tiny, and I was thinking maybe it could be a spider, or it could be a mouse. And
Excuse me.
And the whole time I was thinking maybe it could be a mouse, so I'm just gonna probably just walk it off. But I heard after that, as I was walking into the hallway to come back to my room, I just felt this very cold breeze just pass by me. Like, it was it was weird.
I was once at my aunt's house, staying there for a weekend or 2 weeks. I don't know which one was it, but I was trying to scare her by peeking my head into her room, and
My brother does.
don't
that
get me
to
wrong, it worked.
sometimes.
But don't get me wrong, it worked. Don't get me wrong, it worked.
Sometimes he
And
peeks
but
his
that's
head
not
out
what scared her the
sometimes. He
most.
scares me.
That's not what worked the most. What scared her the most was the fact that she saw, when she took a picture of me, she zoomed in and she saw an orb right next to me.
Actually, I had a couple of those orbs.
She told me that later. She told me that a lot later. She told me that the next day. She said that she took a picture of me and she showed me the picture. And then as I was looking at it, she was like, What is that? She zoomed in. I thought it was just a dust particle, so I didn't think anything of it. But instead it was she saw it as a ghost orb.
Actually,
And
I had something on film. Actually, I remember I was in the lounge room and I had something on film. Because I wanted to see if I can actually catch something. And I read one time, actually I might show you this after this podcast, but I remember as I was filming, because I was filming it for about 50 seconds, I stopped it, reviewed the footage, and I seen something on the wall, just went very slow, and it was big. And it would have been the TV, because the TV wasn't that as bright. And there would have been no shadows in the way of the TV. And, like, it was big, like this wall here. It's like that, but it was a bit bigger. Yeah, it looked like a head.
also, I was gonna say a joke earlier.
It looked like a head on top, and it's just weird. Yeah, let's go on.
I was gonna say a joke earlier
What?
about the fridge knocking, and I was saying, you know why they knocked on the fridge?
Why?
There might be a salad dressing. Give it a second to kick in. Give it a second. There it is. You don't want to disturb a salad when it's dressing.
You could be looking for sandwiches around there.
Let's not turn this into sausage party now. Oh God! Why did I bring that up? Ew!
That's out of context.
Don't watch that movie.
Because it's a different kind of sausage party, but sometimes people do it. I like that look. You know, do you got another story? Do you have
My
one
cousin once told me.
Do you have one on Reckless?
I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. I don't, but I do have some on some other VR chat friends.
What?
Well, only on one of my VR chat friends. I have some stories that he once told me.
Fucking Mr. Big or fuck that.
But my cousin once told me that
You alright?
they had came back from a funeral. They had came back from a funeral, and they said that they heard the same thing that I hear, which is, "I love you."
This bed's dangerous.
They heard "I love you" in Spanish.
That's dangerous because it leans this way, so it throws you out of bed.
Anyways, what were you saying? I missed
Fuck that,
everything.
innit?
Okay, I'll tell something different. Jeez, I'm starting to run out of stories. My brain is starting to get blocked.
Yeah, just
Because I just
Alright, I'm
missed,
trying
I just
to
missed
go from.
because I just missed what you said because my uncle just fell out of his bed.
That'll be alright. That's fine. Fucking motherfucker.
Anywho,
Must be
my
done.
brain is starting to get blocked. I'm starting to run out of stories. But I have one story on one of my VR chat friends.
Go on.
I have one story on one of my VR chat friends that they've told me. They said that they had a recently departed dog. And Nightwolf Otake, if you are watching this, I am so sorry. I'm still so sorry about this. About me saying this. I don't know if this is gonna be any problems later, but
If it's
He tells me-
something that's bad, you'd have to say it.
no, not really. He told me that he has two houses. In one house, he feels his presence, and in the other one, he hears him. He hears the dog moving around, which I've actually told him that that's his dog checking on him. That's him. That's checking on him. I told him, don't be afraid of it. Embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tearing up because I'm tearing up because I'm getting like goosebumps from telling these. Because it freaks me out to think that people actually people see these things and hear these things. Meanwhile, I only have experienced it once. Most of the time, the scariest thing I feel is the fear every time I go into an elevator.
What you said just.
I have
a
a
second-
rational fear of elevators.
What you said, just in a second, part of that, just gave me flashbacks, or something.
About the moving,
No.
about the dog moving.
Yeah, it's about the dog.
The presence.
No, what?
Like you can feel their presence.
No. I should tell you. Should tell it. One time, my dog. I had another dog before I got my other dog, and it sadly passed away because it had a brain tumor in his brain, which we didn't know about, and he had he had some seizures, and I think he had about 6 or something, 6 or 7, can't remember, and I remember that he had his third seizure he had. I was on the lounge out there. It's gonna be tough. I was on the lounge out there trying to sleep because I was getting ready for school. This was in year 11 back then. And he walked up to me just before he had his first seizure. He walked up to me because I had my head back a bit because I was just making sure that he was not gonna bite me because he was in his insta stage, and he had his third seizure. It was like to say it to me like goodbye. It was like a goodbye thing when he walked up to me and did that. And what you said just gave me flashbacks of him doing that to me. Because it was a scary moment for my family, because we didn't know what was going on with him. We didn't know what was wrong and why he was having seizures. And then when the doctor came in and told us what he had, which would have been a brain tumor that would have killed him, and he said he passed away on that day.
This got dark really quickly.
It's okay. Sometimes people do that. Sometimes people do it.
This is actually, my family's not the only one that's noticed, like, paranormal activity in my apartment.
Okay.
I don't live on my own, bear in mind. But, my sister has noticed that that there was a shadowy figure by her room door.
Isn't this a different story?
Bear in mind, the dog was with us in the living room. He was just laying there, and my other dog was in the cage. She was sleeping. So, my sister had saw it, but then my dad's friend, his best friend, was at my house because we decided to play some Mario Kart. They went to the bathroom, and then they come back, and then they say they saw the same thing by my sister's room door, a shadowy figure.
And you know what I call those? Shadow bastards. The shadow bastard. That's what you should call them. Shadow bastards.
Wah, wah, wah.
I was trying to make you laugh. That didn't work.
Wah, 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 wah.
Okay. Go on. But I'm saving that clip, by the way.
You do you. I'm basically gonna be saving this entire thing to a playlist. So, yeah, trust me, that's fine. Every night at 3 a.m. There's sometimes when I'm awake because I'm I'm kind of a night wolf. I
am too.
stay up during the night. I stay up during the night and I sleep during the day. But
I mean, it wasn't like
every night at 3 a.m. I have an Echo in my room. I have an Amazon Echo in my room. She doesn't talk or anything at night, but instead the volume goes down 1% every night. So every once in a while I would have to say, Alexa, turn the volume up to 5. Or even, not only that, but every night, and this happens like constantly, so I always have to get up. My Quest, I don't always turn it completely off. I put it in sleep mode while it's charging. And for some, and it detects when there's someone putting it on, so it takes it out of sleep mode. For some odd reason, my Quest, even when I have it on my desk upside down. For some odd reason, it detects that there's someone putting it on, and it takes itself out of sleep mode. But when I look through the lenses, there's nothing on screen. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Why is it taking itself out of sleep mode? So every night I've just been turning it off, because either how I try to turn it off now, because for some reason it glitches out sometimes, so I can't open up my Quest menu, so therefore I'm forced to turn it off. Which it's concerning, because I'm like, why is it doing that? It should not be doing that if there's no one putting it on. There's no one putting on the headset. Now, if I heard my Elite Strap tightening itself, that's where I would be terrified, because the Elite Strap, it's loud. It's loud when you want to tighten it. Like, you can hear it. That's me tightening it.
Kind of sounds like you're trying to
So-
use like, it's like you're trying to use one of those what do you call them?
No. Don't.
One of those tools that you use
But-
to fix like cars or something like that. A wrench.
I forgot what they're called. Yeah. Anyway. That's what it sounds like when you're tightening it. This is what it sounds like when you're listening. It's quiet. So, if I heard this in the middle of the night and I don't have the headset on, then I know something is up. And that's when I know I'm putting my old straps back on. Until I get the Elite Strap battery, then at that point I would not give two craps. Like, more battery!
More batteries. More fun.
Anywho, that's pretty much what happens to me every night. Because at 3:50 at least a.m. Right now it's 2:17. So it's 2:17 my time. So like in about like an hour or so, it's gonna turn the volume down. My Alexa is gonna turn the volume down on its own, without me telling it to. Which also tells me that I might need to reconnect her or recalibrate her. Because there's no way that she should be doing that without me opening up the app, or without me telling her to turn the volume down, or without me physically getting up to turn the volume down. Alexa! I thought that would scare you. Dang it.
That didn't
Alexa, turn the light brightness up to 50.
Okay.
Did what? Wait, what?
Hey Alexa, can you mock him? I know
No, but she
people-
can help me make tough decisions.
No,
She can help me.
Because there's actually people out there that does pranks of Siri and Alexa, and then every time when they type something to it, it just mocks them back. It's funny. The dude
My Echo can help me make tough decisions.
I can
Like
tell
this. Alexa, help me decide.
To help you decide. Two things and I will pick up for
Cheetos or Doritos?
the reader. I think reader.
She says Doritos.
I would send that I'll send that to Jesus in a minute. Because Cheetos are good.
I love Cheetos. I like my Cheetos Puffs. Don't shoot the messenger.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Any- anyway. But yeah. Yeah. That goes off in the middle of the night. And another thing that happened was a while back I would get notifications. Oh, hi guys. I actually see you in the chat. Anyway.
Sometimes the chat would, it would be sometimes delayed too, so you probably might not get to hear it.
Yeah, I noticed. Anywho. There was another thing that used to scare my family, but it was not really because of any paranormal activity, more like it was because of me. In my FNAF obsession phase. Because
Did you have a Furby?
I used to be obsessed with Golden Freddy. No.
Could you imagine
I hate those things.
Could you imagine a
I hate
Furby
those
out
things.
front of the Freddy's of Golden Freddy?
Funny thing that you said Golden Freddy, because that was my favorite character at the time. And this used to be my text tone every single time. People used to hear that coming from my phone. People used to hear that coming from my phone in the middle of the night because I used to get Twitter notifications. Because I got Twitter notifications, and every time I got a notification, that sound would go off. They hated that, and they immediately told me to change it. Which I found funny.
Wait, as you were in public as well, it would go off?
Yep, when I was in public. When I was in public, when I was like in my room by myself, that would go off, and I was actually okay with it because I knew what it was. My family did not know what it was, so there was. I hate to break it to you, but I was on the subway next to a baby, and that went off. I feel bad for that child. I feel bad. I feel so bad for that child. It didn't really scare them that much. It didn't really scare them.
Oh, thank God.
But I did get a random look. I did get a look from.
It'd be funny if you just hear it in the middle of the night as you're camping or something. You just hear that in the distance. like on a
Funny
Bluetooth
if I get a voice nowadays that sound only plays when I get a voicemail. But yeah, my family used to really hate that because they used to think it was something creepy. Meanwhile, no, it was just me and my weird obsession.
I mean,
Now my obsession is Glamrock Freddy.
And speaking of which, my character that I liked the most, because this was back then before I came into fandom. I used to like Foxy a lot.
You and me both.
Because I used to watch videos.
I feel like everyone who...
I used to watch videos of Final Fantasy of Minute. But I think that's probably when I started getting into fandom back then, because I used to start drawing a lot of like FNAF stuff. And that's probably when I actually started being the fandom. But before I started the fandom, sometime around 2018, that's where I first found it. From one of my friends that I know. That I met, and now we are friends. Which is pretty interesting how I met him through YouTube. But as I was going through it, it looked pretty good.
I have a whole wall dedicated to Glamrock Freddy.
Jesus.
I'm not even kidding. I have a whole wall dedicated to Glamrock Freddy, and I have a.
See if I can do it again.
I call that my.
See if I can do it again.
I
I'm not fucking kidding you.
I call that.
Fucking Tony.
I call that the virginity corner. There's a reason why I call it that. I call it the virginity corner.
Out of it.
That way people. That way, when they walk into my room, they know what they're in for, and they can leave immediately.
Told you I seen the double
They just don't leave
fucking
immediately.
roof, didn't I? Yeah, see?
I said they could just walk in. They walk into my room. They look in that corner. They see what they're in for, and then they leave immediately.
It'd be that kind of a dove.
Mhm.
Fucking followed me down from Canberra,
Yeah.
the prick. Just the way how he looked at me.
Anywho,
The only thing I have on, the only thing
Do we
I
have a-
have on my wall is my first avatar and the key thing, the keychain thing. That what some people use.
Mm.
It's like a keychain thing, but you can attach things to it. But I just made it out of rope and just put my persona thing on top of it. And now it's just letting it hang. But anyway,
that sounds dark in so many ways. I'm not. That sounds dark in so many ways when you take it out of context, but I'm not gonna take it out of context. Anyway, every Monday, and actually this started since this actually happens now because I am in college, and I have a late schedule on Mondays. But on Mondays, I don't get home till 11 p.m. or 12 because I have a class that lasts until 9 p.m.
mm-hmm.
So I take the subway. I take public transportation home. For the late nights, the subway train runs local, which is not good because then that takes longer. So I wound up getting home around 11, meaning I have to walk I have to walk a couple of blocks from the subway station to my apartment building,
Damn.
which is not really so safe, especially at night. So you can imagine at 11 o'clock at night, everything is kind of creepy. Everything is like, really, everything is closed. Everything is dark. I hate it.
That's the only one thing I hate too.
But I also
is,
like it.
Sometimes when I'm walking up, like when I walk up to the shop, sometimes I'm always checking my surroundings. Like if just in case for like
That's the same
someone's
thing
trying
for
to-
me.
Just in case if someone's trying to come up to rob me or jump me from somewhere.
Exactly. That's my reoccurring fear is someone, not really reoccurring fear, but more like one of my like reoccurring thoughts is like someone's gonna come up behind me and just grab me.
Yeah. That's why I get sometimes.
That's one of my reoccurring thoughts, and I was like, that's why I always look behind me, because I had a nightmare the other night actually
So actually,
that did happen. I was walking home late at night, and someone grabbed me. I literally popped out my staff and started hitting them with it.
staff.
I actually do have a staff. Yeah, if you want, I'll show you on Discord later. But I do have one of those pop out staffs.
Oh.
I cut
Anyway.
myself with it a couple of times.
Oh, you're talking about that stuff.
Don't ask. Yeah. Yeah.
You can get to slap me for that.
It's pretty sturdy. What?
So you can slap me for that. What I just said. Thank you. Anyways, I think that is the end of the podcast. I think. Did you think?
I'm pretty much have.
I thought
I'm
my
pretty much
photos.
blocked. I have.
So, this is basically the end of the podcast. I don't know what me and him might do. I might have to see what podcast episodes we might come up, because we are planning to do podcast stuff together. So if you guys have any ideas, if you guys want us to talk about, let us know, and we will see from there. And he's basically a brand new member of my team, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. It's been fun talking about scary stories as a Halloween special.
Or just the complete randomness.
Yeah, complete random.
Or just the complete randomness.
And today is actually the final day for me to upload. So this is basically an upload schedule thing now. It's because next week I got a lot of things I have to work on. So I'll have to see you guys sometime on my anniversary week. During my anniversary, but I might try to upload some things next week, but